Hello, welcome to the J Geiger Consulting Podcast, where we help you achieve your ideal outcome. Today in the studio, we have Joy Laczny.
Hello.
She is our Director of First Impressions. That's her unofficial title.
Best title ever.
That's right. But she manages all the inner workings of our office. Some things that she probably loves and some things that she doesn't love quite as much. Yeah,
Excel.
that's right. Excel.
I don't know if anyone, I've gotten pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Comparatively to what I thought in my interview.
Yeah. You were pretty high on yourself in that.
You asked if I knew how to do Excel and I said yes.
Yeah.
I thought I was great at it.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd ever done a formula at that point.
No, that's right.
I didn't know what I didn't know,
That's right. How would you?
No, I have no idea. Yeah.
Yep.
But there's nothing Google and
That's right. Little YouTube video.
a little LinkedIn Learning can't teach you.
That's right.
This is not an ad.
And I think that the quality that you have that allows you to get through that stuff is your fearlessness. You're not chicken.
I always try to figure things out. I always like to learn new things. I mean, it's kind of like in the last couple years last year when I did the blacksmithing thing.
Yep, that's right.
While I didn't love it.
I just saw the picture. I was going through cleaning up old pictures off my phone, and I saw the picture you shared with me from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I always thought that I have an interest in jewelry making, and I always thought that if you could make your own jewelry or work with metal, it would be really interesting. And so I decided one day to sign up for a blacksmithing class. And while I knew it was going to be hot and hard, I had no idea.
You had no idea. Yeah.
And how hard it would be.
Yeah.
It
really works your forearms and your grip because the hammers are really heavy and it's probably hot, from the fire. And
I feel like the day I did it, it was particularly hot outside. So it was extra roasty in there. But
where was it that you did that?
It was in Green Bay. A guy has a studio out there.
Oh, cool.
To think of his name. But I also didn't do myself any favors. The guy next to me said that he wanted to make a hatchet out of a railroad spike. And I was like, oh, that sounds really cool and, tough. And yeah, it was I guess railroad spikes are the hardest combination of like metals and carbons.
So you chose to do something out of a railroad spike too?
Yeah. Oh, I did the exact same thing.
Oh, okay.
But our results were very different.
Okay. That's pretty cool.
He was like a similar guy, similar to Nate. 6 tall, 250, a lot of ex-military type guy, and was a little more muscle,
a little more leverage from the length of his arms,
capacity than I had. But it was a humbling experience. But yeah, it looks pretty cool.
Well, it's a perfect example of how fearless you are. So I really appreciate that about you. And yeah, I always start with helping everybody else kind of get to know you a little bit and get to know kind of how do we meet? How do we come together? Do you remember how that all went down?
I mean, in 2019, I was the general manager of Fress Restaurant and Bar, and you and Lisa would come in several days a week, and because we both liked wine.
Yep.
And talking about good wine.
Yep.
And just having you guys in all the time.
Yeah, Fress was one of our favorite places, and we were somewhat new at the empty nester thing, and we liked good food, and we wanted that perfect mix of being able to go out and yet be a little bit social, but yet have a little bit of time to ourselves. And Fress, which unfortunately is closed now, that was kind of that perfect thing.
Yeah.
And the personality of the restaurant took on like your personality and I'd say maybe Donna and then Cecilia as well.
Yeah. Yep. There's so many great people who worked there. It was such an amazing crew. I feel very fortunate to be a part of it. And it was really fun. I think we got to know each other even more when I helped you throw Lisa's surprise birthday party.
Yep, that's it. Yep, that was a lot of fun.
That was so much fun.
She had no idea.
Tons of people came out. You just saw how loved she was, and it was a really special experience. And then Yeah, I left around March, I want to say, of 2020. So, I mean, I put in my 2-week notice, and I knew my daughter was going into high school. I just knew that I was ready for a change. I just didn't want to do the
Right.
every night and every weekend, and obviously opening a brand new restaurant just completely
it
puts a
requires
toll on your marriage.
It's more than an 8-hour day, right?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'd get there sometimes at 9 a.m. and leave at 11 at night. Or I mean, there's days I was staying later than that because you just play a lot of hats in that role. Right. But it taught me that I could pretty much do anything after that because if you can open a restaurant and do all the things that come with that, it's pretty invigorating and empowering. And then, I left for 2 years and worked at a salon, managed a salon and did social media for them, and was just in a place where I was definitely excited to look for something else and just take my career to the next goal. And I was looking for a job that I could really excel at and continue a lot of growth within. And it was really crazy because I had just put my resume together, and I think that I got a call or a text or something from you.
Yeah, I still had your number from when you helped me with Lisa's birthday. And I was actually...
We'd seen each other a couple times. I think at like Tandem or we definitely ran into each other. It wasn't like we hadn't seen each other
for sure. Well, what ended up happening was we put out an ad for the position, and I don't know if you would have seen it if you would have applied for it, because
I don't know.
Well, I mean, it certainly would have been similar to what you were doing at the salon, but different in a lot of ways. Maybe it wouldn't have clicked or whatever. But I was running through my head, because we had put an ad out basically on the job boards and stuff, and we started getting folks applying. And without going into too much detail, we kind of got a couple different ends of the spectrum, where we had just not a right cultural fit with the company.
Yeah,
and it was really tough because I had something specific really in mind of what we needed.
Yeah.
And I started running through my head, well, who do I know that fits this? And I was a mechanism I know when I'm trying to think of different people is I'll scroll through either LinkedIn contacts or I'll scroll through my phone contacts. And at that time I was scrolling through my phone, and I saw your name come, and I'm like, Joy. Yes, she is it. And so I reached out. I think I texted you, and you just timing. You were just thinking about.
I had applied for a couple jobs. A lot of them were in the art field. One thing that I've always done is whenever I start to like lose confidence or in what I'm capable of, I always just go apply for jobs that I don't qualify for. Yeah. And see how far I get through the application process. And I think I had gone through an interview process for like a creative director of a marketing company. Wow. And while I obviously was not qualified, I think that there's something that really is empowering when you get as far as you do. And, even if you get a call back and you get an interview, it practices to keep those people skills fresh, and it keeps you reminding that you can do anything if you put your mind to it. I mean, and yes, it's a good practice, keeps you sharp. But I had gone through a couple interviews and applied for a couple different positions, and they were more in the art field because I remember my application had a picture on it, my picture of me, or my resume.
And that's more common in creative
one of my
spaces.
friends, he's a really successful marketing director, and he's like, right now it's like, you want to show your personality in your resume. So a lot of people put their picture or something, just kind of helps you stand out in a stack of black and white text. But I still think to this day, now I look back, I don't think I knew back then, but now I laugh that you guys must have been like, oh, look at this.
No, not at all. That for me, that doesn't help or hurt at all. Maybe it helps, but really, in fact, I struggle with the resumes unless I'm already at the point where I know I want to know more.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's true. And I think it was really, I mean, obviously, I knew that you guys owned a business. I mean, I knew that it was downtown Appleton. I remember at that time you'd probably just moved into the office or expanded the office.
Yeah, we moved in 2018 and then just expanded in 2020, I think.
Because I remember you talking about having a big party, so it was probably maybe the Christmas parade or something. I don't know, whatever
Christmas
that
parade.
year.
I think it was 2018 because we did a fundraiser for the Angels downtown and stuff like that.
That's so cool.
We had such a great turnout for that. It was a lot of fun.
I remember talking about that, but I don't think I had any clue. Even if you would have told me what you did, I don't know if you did or not.
That's okay.
I was like, okay, well, I know they do something with computers.
That's right. My family used to think I worked for the Geek Squad. They're pretty wow. You did pretty well working
Fix printers.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I mean, you think about technology, and now that you've had a couple of years, and it's 2 years now, right?
Yeah, on the 28th, which is crazy.
Yep, 2 years. Like, think of all that you've learned about how vast technology is.
It's crazy. It's very, very intriguing, and I mean, it's definitely been a ton of growth in the last 2 years. I started working here, and all I remember is like one of my first days here in the old office. Everyone was just typing, and all I heard was typing and clicking with mouses, and it was just so
really super quiet.
And I was like, I think my second or third day we went to Basil's. The whole team went to lunch, and I was like, "Do you guys always just sit here this quiet? Is there whatever?" They're like, "Oh yeah, we're all listening to music or something on our headphones."
Yeah,
and I was like,
they had headphones on.
I need to get some headphones apparently. Yep. And but I was like, man, I don't know. This is the quietest job I've ever had. But the silence was nice too. I enjoyed it.
Well, what's funny, I think about it, is it's periods of silence mixed in with periods of just chaos.
Yeah.
Crazy chaos. Like if you think way back, do you remember the first couple tough things that we asked you to do? What do you remember what they were?
Whew, let me think. It's a long
Something
time
with
ago.
Excel, I'm sure, was in there.
Yeah. Definitely some Excel. Probably setting up some, I think, like the expenditures or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, we got
Excel.
you introduced to our CRM pretty early on.
Yeah.
Too. You've been working that for, it's got to be going on 2 years by now.
I remember
within the first month.
The time I deleted the CRM, and then I didn't know that.
Upset.
I was like, I didn't know that 24 or that it backed up every night. And you guys were on vacation, you and Justin.
Yeah.
And I called Nick, Paul, crying
in kind of a panic. Oh no!
I was like, I don't want to bother. See, that's what teams are for. And then you guys had it fixed in like 5 minutes.
Yep.
I felt so silly, but
yeah.
Deleted the CRM. I'll live that one down for a while.
Yep.
But it's amazing because, I mean, even just using a computer, the amount of confidence I have now, or the amount of things that I've learned in the last 2 years, just even using a computer.
Well, your role has expanded so much that you handle so much, things related to HR, things related to employee and resource onboarding, supplier onboarding, customer onboarding. So some contracts, there's, then you're the owner of our CRM system in its entirety. So, I mean, that all kind of dovetails together. Data, pulling together, making sure data is right.
Yeah.
And then with helping manage the customers and stuff, they all have different needs. Like we have to go in and accept the work orders online sometimes.
Yeah.
And sign up for their programs and whatnot, which we've had some. Insurance.
With their, both company and working with.
Yep.
Yeah, so many things that I never thought that I would have, and it's just continues. Even just, I think, us moving into this office too,
Yep.
It was, as I was balancing some numbers, I was like, oh, July, clearly the end of July, beginning of August, Joy left some things for me now, and I'm experiencing that. But it's interesting because it made me really reflect and think about how much we accomplished. I mean, I think we went from finding out signing the lease here.
It was on the 3rd of July, we signed the lease, and then with occupancy taken on the 10th, but you had already arranged with the carpet people to that week between the 3rd and the 10th to take the carpet out.
Yeah.
And then starting the week of the 10th, the painters came in and painted.
Everything.
They were done by the weekend. And then the next week they came in and put the carpeting in. We had Josh come in and do electric work.
Yeah.
That following week. And then the whole team pitched in to help move.
And then we've all physically moved as a team, which was really cool. It was so great. We just all really pulled together. And then, so we did that. We were in here by the last week of July.
Mm-hmm.
And then our company party was like
August 1st.
August 1st.
Yep. Yeah.
I was like, wow, that was, we accomplished
Is that
so
when,
much.
Do you mean the company party, or are you talking about the event here?
The event here, and then we had the company party. I think
that was like on the 14th
later.
or 16th or something.
And just
our summer party.
Yep. Mm-hmm. So I was just looking, I was like, wow, there's
a lot going on.
So much last summer, and we accomplished so much. And it was awesome just to reflect back on the things we've done. And that's why I think the fact that I've been here for 2 years, it seems crazy because it seems like in some ways way longer.
Right. The experience that you've gained in the 2 years is way beyond 2 years worth of experience.
Absolutely. And the things that I'm able to, there's so much ownership and so much pride that I can take in the company. And, I think that's obviously a lot of what's driven me in so many directions, but you feel such a part of something after you invest so much into it, of your time and your energy, and you just want it to succeed in every way you can possible. And I think that's what makes it easy to continue.
So your future could be a bunch of different paths that you go down. I know we talked a little bit about certain things you could do, but really it's kind of, especially with a growing company, it's like, who knows?
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't wait to see.
I know. It's constantly evolving, and just, you also know what you don't want to do. Like, I don't want to be an HR specialist for my
you found that out?
I don't know. It's a lot of work. Yeah.
Review contracts? No?
I don't know if that's for me, but
no?
And that's the best part of when you play so many hats and you wear so many hats within the company. When you do get a little burnt out in one end, there's always
something more fun, like the events.
Mm-hmm, the events, or, and just in general, when you've stared at a computer screen for too long, you can get up and reorganize the kitchen or something like that. It constantly. And I think the really great part of my job too, and I'm excited because I see us getting back into this, I think, with the transition to the office and everything just changing and a lot of different contracts and things going on last year. And then adjusting to a bigger new office. Well, it's been amazing. I have my own office now and everything like that. You're adjust to not having as, you're not directly, our cubicles aren't stacked next, next to each other anymore. And you weren't in such close quarters, which has so many wonderful advantages. But sometimes you miss the interaction with the team, and having planned out different events for each month coming up so far this year, it's been just really nice having people in the office and connecting with the team again. And it just feels, I feel a momentum in that direction, which is really cool.
And that's where your unofficial title of Director of First Impressions really comes in, because when people are first coming to the office or we're bringing our team in, we want them to know how important they are to us. And not just do it just with words. And then having events where we bring in the public, like we had our office open house where we invited all the other businesses from downtown.
That was so great.
That was great.
It was so nice just to meet so many people and have people really proud and excited of what we've accomplished in this new space. And having my art on the wall is just really huge privilege.
Yeah, so we have to make a little bit of a plug here. So you are an artist. You alluded to that earlier in the show. You do a lot with photography.
Yes.
You went to school for photography, and you set that down. Although it's more than a hobby, you set that down in your 20s, and you've kept it as part of your life, which is great.
Yeah, I document. I think I have like 80,000 pictures on my phone or something like that. But it's always been a part of something, and I think I have an eye for it, but just life got, you just had to make choices that sometimes art has to take us back seat to, what you need to do.
The responsibilities in your day to day.
And it's been really cool. I got a little bit more back into it by doing the social media job for a couple of years before being here. And then somehow my Polaroid photography has just taken off. It's constantly a humbling experience because I did something as a hobby. I just started taking Polaroids and instant film all the time. And it's something that there's one copy of. It's one piece of art, that's all that exists. So I started, and people would always want them. But you can't give them away because A, they're expensive, and B, you would never have that for yourself anymore. So then I started scanning them in and putting them out there. And since then, it's just kind of turned into a really cool hobby that's expanded, not even a hobby because I hate to say hobby, but really get to express my art on a regular basis, and something that people constantly, it's just so humbling to have people have such an amazing response. The Fox Cities magazine named me ours to watch in 2024, which is so crazy. I mean, that's just amazing. And it just continues to, with anything, I think you can get burnt out or question if your vision is, the same as you've always had it be. And things like that are so cool. So I'm applying to be in the contemporary art show at the Trout. So the deadline is Sunday. So we'll see.
Good. Hope that goes well.
Thanks. Yeah, I'm excited. And then I'm going to be the featured artist at a Coca coffee for the month of April. So just things like that. It's just continuing to build the momentum off of something. And then the really cool thing is here, then you guys, we have these really beautiful large gold frames that you won at an auction.
Yep. We had an opportunity to buy some very historic old antique gold frames, and they're, if you see pictures of them, it doesn't do them justice.
They're so beautiful. And when we first moved in here, we weren't really sure what direction we were going to go with that. And they were just up on the wall. And then I think at some point we were like, I could do photography in there. And it kind of it wasn't a top priority in the move because, I mean, obviously there's just so many other moving parts that are essential to the day-to-day, but the photography kind of seemed secondary. And then it was really crazy.
About 4 months.
Yeah. We ended up being like, let's just do this before our party. Like, we're going to have everyone in the office and welcome everyone. Let's just do it. And it was crazy because I think we all said this, it just completed the office in I took a whole bunch of black and white pictures of downtown Appleton and the Fox River, and it's so cool. Yeah,
and you matched because there's most of them are portrait. There's a few that are landscape, and you matched the photo up with the image, and you picked some that are portrait and made sure there's one of a church and it's a huge spire, and that the height of the frame itself pulls your eye up along with it. It's a perfect match. So it's really beautiful. It's like two pieces of art in one.
Yeah. It's really cool to have my photography up against the and I think it really plays into, I think, what our office aesthetic as a whole is that old and new together, that modern and historical elements tied together. Because I remember you definitely wanted that. That was your vision for the office when we were first planning it. And
I didn't know that the frames are going to be a part of it, though. I didn't know that was going to be in there.
It was just kind of, it had to, with what you collect, you're collecting and your art and your historical, collections, it only made sense that it would be incorporated. But it was also like, okay, this is a new modern space. How do we, and I think it's just been a really seamless, and it really ties into, us as a company and brand, the uniqueness and the, specific personalized touches, both in business and in the office.
Well, there's one thing that you won't get here, and it's clinical.
Yep. No, not at all.
No.
And it was really intentional. I mean, I remember there's lots of discussions around carpeting and things like that. It was all, how do we make this feel warm in the furniture and every, modern Veer desks mixed with, antique furniture pieces and, it's really cool. if you haven't been to our office,
Yep,
just
that's
stop in.
Yeah, that's right. You can call us on the number that's on our website or reach out to one of us. We'd be happy to have you come see our new offices here atop the 122 building up on the 3rd floor.
Yeah.
We're the only ones up here. It's totally quiet.
Our own penthouse up here.
Right, our own penthouse.
301.
Yep. So of the events that we've done, because that's a big thing where I think it showcases you're a director of first impressions and how good you are at doing those. Which one so far has been the favorite?
I definitely loved In Focus. That was in Denver. We did that for the first time in 2023. I had 2 Blueprint 4Ds under my belt by the time we got to that one. And I think, it's obviously, you can agree, the first one, you're just getting your feet wet and
You did that the first year you were here.
So I started February 28th and I think it was the first week of June in that year that I was there. So they basically part of the, I was planning it and I just kept being like, so you guys gonna bring me? You gonna bring me? Kind of joking.
How did you end up going along?
So then I made a PowerPoint saying each slide had a historical picture of Vegas and then added in different reasons why I would be.
All the reasons Joy should go to Vegas for the show.
Yeah. And then on the last one, I just broke down all the prices. And then I said, getting to be in Vegas with me, priceless.
Priceless.
And
it worked. Yeah.
Yeah. But I think it was a really good, I think that, I did believe everything I said in this slideshow, but I also think that it was even more so than I maybe even realized how much of a benefit it was to the team. And now as we approach our 4th event that I've done with the company, and as I approach, going to Blueprint for the 3rd time this year, just the amount of confidence I have going into these events now is really cool. And, so much of it is being able to talk the talk and connect with people. Right. And that's so essential to, who we are, because I think a lot of people can read you a script of why you should take, work with their company. But I think the personalized touches and the connections that we make are what really build and who we are within the community of the JD Edwards world.
Yep,
and
that's right.
The connections we get to have. And now it's fun because it's like, you get to go back and see all your old friends.
That's right. Yep. Yeah. And build more of those shared experiences that you end up having that you can't have anywhere else. And I think one thing too, that, actually Lisa got to experience in a very small amount. Like she's never had this kind of thing where she's gone to these types of events and stuff. We went to a networking event down in Milwaukee. It was about 3 hours long or so.
Yeah.
So we drove down there and came back on the same day. She said to me after it was done, I can't believe you do this for an entire week straight.
It's so crazy. It's like, I think what the booth, at least In Focus, opened at 7 most days. So then I would get up before that and try to edit the videos that we had taken from the day before for our LinkedIn. So then, if you, and you have to look the part and, so you get off, you get ready, you're up at like 5 or 5:30 and you're in a different time zone.
Yep.
And then you do that. Maybe you sit down for a couple minutes for lunch and then you keep going and you have till dinner gets done at 11 or 12 at night. And there's anything after that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And there's usually stuff going on after that. And if you're
socializing and networking, and
sometimes it can go till the wee hours in the morning.
Yeah. And then you get up and do it again. And it's definitely a lot, but I think the excitement and the energy of it keeps you going and just your pride of what you're doing. And you get to the point where you're definitely ready to like take a break at the end of it. But it's such a cool experience. I would say that of all the things in my job, it's probably one of the coolest experiences that I've gotten to have. And just to have, represent our company and our brand and what we're doing and have a really big impact. And then also make it me to add, the joy elements to it.
Right. Which this last time you added the photography.
Yeah,
to
we
it.
did. They had a 90s party as the big party at In Focus, and I got to do a Polaroid photo booth. And I think it was like a couple days before I just was like, we have to make an impression at this 90s party. And what's more 90s than Polaroid and laser backgrounds? And
That's right.
it was
the
so
90s
cool.
prop glasses and stuff.
I was talking to Michael, and he's like, "Oh, I got my Polaroids on my desk still." And
Yeah, that's
from
you mean
class.
you just talked with him.
Yeah,
Yep.
just talked to him a couple weeks ago, and it's like really cool to be able to create, hold on to who I am and bring some of that in, which makes it uniquely me.
Yep.
And a different perspective that maybe wouldn't have happened, and I constantly am excited to find more opportunities like that at our future events.
Yep. Well, I mean, the doors are always open. I know we'll keep it a secret for now for the theme for this next event. I think people have a lot of fun with that.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. We've been doing we had a pretty good brainstorming session on Friday. And again, just who we are. And we're so much, service is first and connections and individuals and.
Yep. Service. And, my approach to things is I'm always looking for the win-win-win. I'm not looking to win at someone else's loss. There's got to be something, even in the most difficult situations, there's got to be a win-win-win in there.
It's exciting.
Yep.
It's always.
And doors open and who knows what's coming. I know maybe furthering in your technological background, maybe furthering going down more of the sales route. I mean, who knows?
Yeah.
Helping expand in other.
Got to start putting my toes and testing out all the waters out there. That's definitely a huge
and we do
part
want to expand. So maybe there's something in expanding to other locales.
Yeah.
Helping kind of facilitate and coordinate that. How do you bring the J Geiger way of doing things?
Yeah.
Now that you've been watching for a couple of years, if you were to put it in a can, is there something that we could do with that?
I think so.
Yeah. That's right. But you have to do it with the right people that have because I think that's something that's really great. We have a very diverse team with so many different backgrounds and stuff. So many unique people, but yet there's certain things that are in common, and it's extreme intelligence, extremely high values, and an extremely high work ethic that they're service oriented.
Absolutely.
I think that's some of the things that are a marker for us.
And it can show that you can come from all different backgrounds, whether it's DJing or
who did that? Yeah, right.
or juggling. No, just kidding. Or restaurant. I mean, the restaurant industry, I think, really sets you up for success in anything. Yeah. You can't go wrong. It teaches you all the things you need to know. Service is, number one and huge on my heart. And I think as other people start to expand and grow in their roles too, it's like there's obviously just an inevitable opportunities for growth. I mean, obviously not something that will, but even just with Justin not being at the Blueprint this year, Blueprint 40 this year, I think it just gives me an opportunity. I mean, he's such a huge part of our booth and connecting with people. And it's like, okay, there's that a hole inevitably missing, but how can we step up and
gives Jordan an opportunity to come along and experience the decadent lifestyle of being at a conference,
filling Justin's shoes, and just it's really cool. So I'm excited for the things that are coming and the way the company continues to just grow and expand.
So what do you think your future looks like?
Man, that's
a tough one.
Yeah.
And that's really super open-ended.
Yeah, that's what I do know is I know that I will continue to grow and I will continue to learn things and continue
Are there ever weeks where you're not challenged? I don't think there are.
I don't think no.
I think every week is probably pretty challenging. There's always something that kind of.
There always is. Some weeks it's just finding things that inspire you, or my brain is inevitably creative minded, so it's how there's weeks that aren't necessarily as creative or jogging my brain in that way, but it always comes back around, and it's always when I look back, it's always like, wow, you accomplished a lot. So.
Yeah, in just 2 years.
Yeah.
It does seem like it's been longer.
I know.
But I did know you before, so maybe that factors into it.
And now I know all about ERP.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, I wouldn't go that far.
Okay.
All about.
Yeah. Well, I think anybody listening here, they should consider coming in and learning more themselves, and maybe come on into the office, check out our new space, maybe get to know you a little bit more, and
absolutely.
get to know about us.
If you want to know, read Matt's white paper on what J.D. Edwards
on the history of J.D. Edwards.
That will teach you a lot if you don't know anything.
That's right. That's right. All right. Well, I really appreciate you coming in today, Joy.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, it was great. I know. In all honesty, this was our second recording of this. We had a technical snafu that we overcame, and I think this was a great conversation. Maybe a little bit less. Maybe the last one was more forced, so it was meant to be.
Yeah, it's great.
So, well, we are so glad that you're able to join us today. Make sure to follow us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube for more exciting content. Make sure you reach out to us through our website if there's an IT topic you'd like to hear it discussed. You can also call us. Our number's on our website. That message will probably go right to Joy.
Yep.
But thank you for joining us for this conversation as you chart your course to the next destination. May your journey be filled with purpose and confidence. Till then, stay true to your compass.